I'm not gonna lie, if you a grown man and you over the age of 23 and you still living with your mom or your dad, you still living with your parents, good fucking job, my nigga, for not falling for the propaganda and wasting your money just to prove a point, my nigga. I never understand that shit. Like me, I'm not 23 yet, I'm 21. But I got a great relationship with my folks. You feel me? I'm Nigerian too, so the way we see shit is a little bit differently. Like, my folks' house isn't my folks' house, that's the family house. You know what I'm saying? That's how we do shit. So I don't understand the propaganda of like, oh, let me move out as soon as possible when I'm 18. Now, granted, I did. I moved out when I was 18 to Florida for a little bit to do some sales work, and I came back. But it wasn't because of any societal pressure, bro. Fuck society, nigga. Do what's best for you financially.
Can't nobody make me feel bad for living at home with my mama. As of right now, I'm 28 and I can't afford to move out. And while yes, I do have a job, it don't pay me enough to move out. Because while we're at home with our mothers and our fathers, we have the opportunity to save money. Put money here, put money there, invest our money to make more money. So while yes, you have your own space, you're still struggling, babe. You have to figure out how to stretch that $5 until next week. I could spend my $5. So if the option was to stay at home with my parents and save my money or get an apartment and struggle, I'm taking staying at home with my parent and saving my money.
To whoever's debating not moving back in with their parents because of their pride, just do it. My mother's on the way home with pizza and chicken wings for me, complimentary, okay? Then she's gonna take me to Publix and we're gonna pick up some snacks and stock the fridge and the pantry. Of course, I had to clean the whole kitchen and living room today. But you know what? I ain't gotta pay rent this month. Okay? So don't let your pride win. Just move back in with your parents. I promise you, it's gonna change your life.
Day 777 living with my mom. And I just got a bag of hydrogen peroxide, some sponges, and what else? Oh, and some OxyClean delivered to the front door through Instacart. And she calls me and is like, you just got a bag of chemicals delivered to the front door? And I'm like, no, I'm trying to clean my bath mat that was white and turned yellow after I spilled Clorox on it. And she was like, it's a bag of chemicals, be careful. Like, okay, I need to get my own place, like ASAP. Like now.
I moved back in with my parents at the age of 32, and I've been here for the last 2 years. And I just want to be real about what that felt like because it's not easy. I'd been a business owner, I had employees, I had a whole identity built around being the woman who was building something. And then one day, I'm back in my parents' house trying to figure out how to rebuild my life without losing my mind in the process. And the ego hit from that was very real. But here's what I decided. I could do one of two things, and I could scramble to keep up appearances, go get an apartment, act like everything was fine. I could keep spending money that I didn't have just to feel like I was still that girl, or I could be real with myself and make the smart move, even if it was the humble one. And I chose real. I moved back home. I enrolled in my master's program. I kept working in lending. I kept showing up for my kids, and I kept my head down for the last 2 years while I've been rebuilding from the inside out. No big highlight reels, no crazy posts, some updates, but mainly work. And here's what I can tell you about this quiet period. It's been the most important 2 years of my life because I've been able to stop performing and actually start building and really living. I stopped worried about how it looked, and I've been focusing on where I'm going. And now I'm almost done with my degree. My finances are starting to move. I'm turning 34 soon. I feel more clear than I've ever felt and more intentional than I ever did when I looked successful on the outside, right? Pride is expensive, and I just couldn't afford to keep that up anymore. And honestly, I think that's the best thing that ever happened to me.
People are moving back in with their mama and their daddies and their grandparents. I want you to think about that for a second, because I don't think we talking about this enough. It is so hard to live and maintain life as an adult that people are moving back in with their parents. People, not like 24, 25, people in their 30s are moving back in with their parents because it's just too fucking expensive to live like, something about that is really fucking me up in this process of life, in this moment of my life right now. Like, my parents and grandparents are all deceased in it. So if I needed to go somewhere in this economy for whatever reason, I don't have the option to go back to my parents' home. Not only does that sadden me, but it also scares me. I don't have the quiet luxury of having a safety net. And that is so interesting to me. I don't know what to do with that information right now, but that is scary. AF.
It's a lot going on out here. And I'm starting to notice this a lot. So let me know if you notice it too. I'm starting to see a lot of people moving back in with their parents. 30 plus. Just to cut the cost of living. In reality, I can't be mad at you. I don't know your situation. Everybody is so quick to judge the next person like they perfect. And some people consider it embarrassing to move back with your parents. But in reality, it's not embarrassing. You're going to save money. And let's just be honest. Majority of the jobs, they don't even pay you enough to move out on your own. Make that make sense. And some people would say, well, you need 2 incomes to survive. So in reality, when people get in relationships, situationships, or whatever they want to call it, they don't genuinely want to be with the person. They only want to be with them just to have another income. If you got to do all that just to survive, once you put your time and energy into all that, it really ain't worth it. But it could be worth it to some people. But what I want to say is that a lot of people will judge you. Some people think that's embarrassing. But I don't think that's embarrassing. You know, you can save money. You got to do what's best for you. You can't be worried about what people think. Because some people, they'll say, that's part of being grown, getting out on your own, paying bills. That's true. But the way you stating it to me is like, you stating it like you just doing it to prove a point. Okay, you going out, you paying bills, you grown. But if you broke and all your money going to bills, you really can't do what you want to do. You tied to this job like you not grown. You can't get up and go. You can't do that. So it's so much to the point that they got you tied into your job where you got to ask permission to go on a vacation. You got to ask permission for everything. And it's like they treating you like a kid at your job. But you're an adult in the real world because you pay bills. Forget just trying to survive. You want to live. So, in reality, I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. It ain't about how you start, it's about how you finish. So don't worry about what people would say. You live at home with your mama, you live at home with your daddy. If you still cool with your parents, ain't nothing wrong with that. Some people not cool with their parents. And that's the sad part. Some people just can't go back and live with their parents. Depending on how their parents treated them, I don't know. Some people still cool with their parents. So if you still cool with your parents, I would say don't lose that. Cherish that. But still be trying to focus and think of a plan on your own. So it's nothing wrong with that. Long as you're not just stuck and getting comfortable, then it's different. But in reality, it's like you shouldn't be getting stuck comfortable nowhere, not even in a job. I'm just saying getting comfortable in general. And sometimes you may just have to do that. But what I don't get is that when people move out just to say they grown, some people, and then they can't pay their bills, and then they come right back to their parents. If you're going to get out, stay out. That's the part where you want to look at it like it's an accomplishment if you want to get out. Don't have to come back. You can get out at 30. You know of so many people who stayed with their parents, who invested money, waited till the last minute to move from their parents' house, had hundreds of thousands stacked up, and millionaires, and not working a regular job, instead of just going off emotions, trying to do things what they tell you in life, what you're supposed to do at this time. That's where people go wrong at. They always want to, well, it's supposed to do. Stop living like that. Once you start living for you, sit back and take a deep breath and relax, you're going to think better. And who made up all these supposed to do rules? Everybody's not right all the time. So if your life is not living up to the way you want it to be because you living by what you're supposed to do, then you need to reevaluate yourself. And a lot of us got to do that. It's like we working constantly, caught up in the system, just in a rush to do something. But in reality, the way your bank account is set up, you shouldn't be in a rush to do nothing. Because you're living from check to check. Now you living above your means. That's what they say. In this economy, that's not a livable wage. But according to everybody, you living above your means. That's the part I don't get. Houses are $200,000-300,000 now. So how can you afford a $200,000-300,000 house? So you really can't afford to move out. All your money gonna go to bills. And then you probably don't even got $1,000 saved up in your bank account. Majority of us don't. It's okay. It's all good. But let's just keep it real. It's like the things, of course, if you wanted to move out, you could. But you don't have enough money. And that's the sad part. A lot of people are struggling. Even people that have been working at their job for 15 plus years. And then half the time, they'll get a job, do overtime, buy a house, because they're doing overtime. And then they get so comfortable on the job will cut their hours. Now they mad. Now they behind on their house, payments are slipping, and they mad at the company. But in reality, you can't be mad at the company. You got to be mad at yourself. It's not personal, it's business. That's what you signed up for. So when they say people are just moving back, I have no problem with it. That's your life. As long as you're responsible, you can take care of yourself, and you trying to work to get better, can't nobody judge you. Now, if you disrespectful, living in somebody's house, and you want to make your own rules in your parents' house and things like that, then that's a different story. If you don't want to abide by the rules, then you shouldn't live there. Figure out another way. You can't tell people how to run their house, especially if you're not paying rent. So I got no problem with it. Let me know how y'all feel about people moving back with their parents to cut the cost of living just because they're trying to survive. Leave it in the comments. Let me know how y'all feel. And I'm going to see y'all on the next one. Peace.